I'm John Terode and you're watching Joburg Today.
Executive Mayor Herman Mashaba speaks to us frankly about his journey to date, uncovering corruption to the value of more than 17 billion rand. We also get glimpses of Herman Mashaba's values as a boss. Watch our three-part interview with Mayor Herman Mashaba on the big issue on Joburg Today. Mayor Herman Mashaba, thank you so much for your time. As usual, your schedule is always busy. You're just coming back from Yeovil, and a lot of issues you had to deal with there with regards to illegal electricity, water connections. From what you're telling me, you also literally shut down certain businesses from operating. Your Twitter account is very active, comments coming through from all over the country. Please bring us up to speed on what are the issues in Yeovil you've been dealing with this morning.
Well, I think if you look at the country, citywide, we're sitting with massive challenges where some residents, because of the level of corruptions with the previous administration, people not paying for services, water, electricity, the buildings without going through approval processes and so forth and so forth. So we had a huge campaign which we organized a few weeks ago today in cooperation with South African Police Services, JMPD, Home Affairs, and all the city departments, health, city power, Joburg water, and so forth, going really from shop to see how they are paying and whether they're complying with our bylaws. And it was actually quite disappointing that the level of non-compliance in a city, it's like we don't have a government in this city.
How is this allowed to go on?
Well, I think, for me, it looks like the previous administration, as everybody's aware, their focus was on stealing public monies, unashamedly. That's why they led our city, literally the rule of law, to collapse. Because it was not about the public, it was about themselves and how much they can steal. And that's what, for me, was their focus. But we are working very hard, bringing in new leadership in the city, and actually working on changing the culture and the value system of the entire employees of the city, so that we all understand and accept that we are public servants. We are not here to steal public monies.
Sure. It's the end of the year, Mayor. Time to reflect for all of us on how the year has been. Certainly this year has been historic for Johannesburg in many ways. How would you describe your first year in office? I think from the perspective of Herman Mashaba wanting to save this country, as you so often said.
Well, I think according to this job, being the mayor for me was the last job in the world I wanted. But I think for me what was important was to get into this project of saving my country, because I think if we had let ANC continue with our looting of our state resources, our country was going to eventually collapse. Fortunate enough, people on the 3rd of August brought changes here in Johannesburg, Tshwane, Nelson Mandela Bay, and other areas. So I think the voters don't realize how they saved this country. And 2019 is around the corner. And I'm working very hard to ensure that by 2019 comes, we cannot afford to have ANC still in government in this country. I think we need to create a future for our children and their children. We want future generations to inherit a better South Africa than the one that we inherited. And ANC is not that government. ANC proved beyond any reasonable doubt over the last 20 years, for them it's about public looting of resources. It's about ANC first and people second. What we are saying, people first, us second. We are public servants, and that's a kind of culture that I'm trying to articulate throughout the whole organization of the City of Johannesburg.
Sure. If I have to look back at your early pre-election days when you went out campaigning, you made that big promise to fight corruption. You've certainly delivered in terms of the amount of feedback we've been getting from you. From what I understand, you've uncovered corruption in the value of more than 17 billion rand. How intense was that journey for you and your team?
I think, I remember quite well when I moved into office on the 23rd, because I was elected mayor the night of the 22nd, and I moved into this office on the 23rd. I knew there was corruption in the city of Johannesburg, but to be honest with you, I did not ever imagine that it was to this extent. I got into this on the first day. People started giving me report after report, prepared, and obviously the previous administration just decided to put them somewhere in the corner. And within 2 months, that's when I realized I cannot handle this on my own. I don't have the professional skills to investigate cases of corruption. That's why I had to ensure that we create a department in the city called Group Forensic. And lucky enough, we managed to get the services of General Sibia. Today he operates with, I think, about 44, 45 of really top committed public servants, professional investigators, forensic investigators. And literally on a daily basis, as you're aware, we uncover new cases of corruption. We are hiring people, we're getting people being arrested. And I think we're fortunate enough, South African Police Services, particularly the leadership, it's coming to the party to assist us here in the province. The National Prosecuting Authority team is also coming to the party. Still slow, but I think there are people out there, even at national and provincial government, who are realizing that we are serious as a city of Johannesburg to fight corruption, and they're happy to work with us.
Sure. If I have to reflect on the last council meeting that I attended, it was perhaps one of the most tense council meetings I've ever attended in the city of Johannesburg. The tension was palpable. On the point of corruption, when your administration addressed this, you were fiercely criticized by opposition parties in terms of your active role, how actively you are involved in the fight against corruption. One of your council members pointed out that not all of the officials of the previous administration are corrupt, but that there is an inner circle that are mainly responsible for the corruption and looting in the city. Could you please expand on that for us, that statement that was made?
Absolutely. Majority of our employees, we employ in excess of 30,000, I think roughly 33,000 people, and a big number of them are good citizens that only required and needed the leadership, moral leadership. Unfortunately, the previous ANC government was doing everything possible to compromise people. I don't know if you're aware, a few weeks ago I wrote an article, an op-ed, opinion or piece, about how ANC, the last 20 years, has compromised black talent. And I based it on the fact that if I look at in Johannesburg, there's 16, 17 billion rands worth of corruption that I'm covering. You know, young people, professionals, be lawyers, accountants and so forth, that we need to get them arrested. And actually when you engage them, you'd really cry because they got involved because they had no choice. Because with ANC, if you're not prepared to cooperate and participate in corruption, you're out. But unfortunately, what do? I cannot really be complicit to corruption, and I cannot condone it. Unfortunately, if you got involved, you did it at your own risk. And I wrote an opinion piece on this, and I think really hope that it can really be a learning for other youth and other civil servants, not just here in Johannesburg, all over the country, to be careful about the level of ANC corruption, not to allow it to compromise their career options.
17 billion rand is a lot of money.
More than a lot. 17 billion rands is not cheap money, more especially in a city where I'm sitting with over 170 billion rands of infrastructure backlog. You remember you attended that session where I had to take the residents of the city of Johannesburg in confidence as to the kind of challenges that I'm facing, so that when people get power outages, they have water shortages, they have all these potholes, they have bridges collapsing. Please be aware, this is not something that was created in a year. This was because of 20 years of ANC neglect of repairs and maintenance of our city resources.
Sure, Mr.
and
Mayor,
infrastructure.
Please give us an indication of, in terms of the 17 billion rand that we are talking about, what has been resolved, how much more investigations need to take place, and is it really possible for us to get that money back?
Well, I can assure you right now that one of my priorities working with the city manager and our group legal, Mr. Mohasha, who only started with us 3 months ago. One of the units within group forensic that we want to establish is looking for top lawyers who can help us recover this money from this corrupt ANC officials working with some of the people in the private sector. Because as you are aware, in the beginning, there was a resistance by national government to assist us in ensuring that we effect arrest. As much as I think we've got over 200 people arrested, over almost 2,500 cases that we are investigating. But unfortunately, as a City of Johannesburg, we do not have certain competencies, like having our own intelligence, having our own prosecutorial responsibility, having our own prisons. That is unfortunately a national competency. And unfortunately, ANC, with the level of corruption from the head, will they be keen to assist us? Because ultimately it's going to lead to the arrest of senior ANC people. So therefore, to get cooperation from them, unfortunately, something that I'm aware and been quite realistic that the cooperation is not going to be easy. But even within national government, there are certain officials that are working with us to ensure that we save our country.